Welcome to Dark Knight Films Reviews and another Hammer Productions night. Tonight, I will be reviewing Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell, released in 1974. Directed by Terence Fisher, from a screenplay by John Elder. Starring Peter Cushing, Shane Briant, Madeline Smith, David Prowse, John Stratton, Patrick Troughton, and Charles Lloyd-Pack. Now, this is the final Frankenstein movie done by Hammer Productions. And I guess it's holds a place in history for that. Not only that, this was the last film to be directed by the great Terence Fisher. So, two aspects of this film that, good or bad, it is remembered for. This film follows a film that I was not a fan of, as you can see in my review for Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed. Now, the reason I didn't like that film, I loved it at the beginning as it started progressing, but what they did with Peter Cushing's Frankenstein character near the midway point with having him rape Veronica Carlson's character in there, I thought was a travesty in cinema. This, thank God, writes and fully makes him all the way through it, Peter Cushing's Frankenstein, as the kind of character that we know of since Curse of Frankenstein. And another piece of trivia that this film has going for it is that it has David Prowse in it, who would eventually go on to play Darth Vader, and this was his second portrayal of playing a Frankenstein monster. So he is the only actor in the Hammer films to have ever portrayed a version of the Frankenstein monster twice. Although the monster in the previous film that he was in, The Horror of Frankenstein, is not really kind of canon with what we get in this film, because this film is a direct sequel to the other films, whereas Horror of Frankenstein was sort of a soft reboot attempt. But this one, he is a much more, even though the title suggests Monster from Hell, like he's an evil, creature in here. And although I don't like his character design, it's a really awkward and weird character design for a monster. David Prowse's version of this Monster from Hell character is probably one of the more sympathetic versions of the character, with the exception of The Revenge of Frankenstein. This is probably Shane Briant's best portrayal that I've ever seen from him. This is probably my favorite role I've seen him play with Hammer. He played in many films with Hammer, but I think this role as Dr. Simon Helder is just, I liked him from the beginning to end. And I also like Madeline Smith as the character of Angel. She is just, without being able to speak a word of dialogue because her character is mute, she is excellent throughout this film with her portrayals, with the way she acts, and everything is just perfect. And of course, you can't talk about this without talking about Peter Cushing himself as Frankenstein. And like I said, he is very well written in this. He is right back to the way he was in the previous films. And this is probably the most likable of the Baron Frankensteins that we've met in this series, in this one. It doesn't start off that way, but by the end of it, he is a highly likable version of Frankenstein in this. So, excellent final performance of him in the role of the Baron Frankenstein character. You also get Patrick Troughton early in the film, playing this body snatcher that is working with Simon. And it's really interesting to see him in there. And he's the reason that Simon gets put in this asylum, because he coughs up and, gives him up to the authorities early in the film. But it's always great getting to see Patrick Troughton in any of these movies. He was always great in any role he played. So, my final review for Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell. I'm going to give this one a 8.0 out of 10. It is, for being the last film in the series, it was a good step back toward what we got prior, after deviating so far from the Baron character in Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed. So, but what do you guys think of Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell? Do you agree with my review? Do you disagree? Let me know in those comments down below. And as usual, if you enjoyed this video, do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to click that bell icon so you can be notified about future videos just like this one. And while you're by the subscribe button, click that join button and become a Dark Knight fan. As a Dark Knight Fan Plus member, you have access to an area on the channel right now where you can request a movie, TV series, or ranking video of your choosing. And when that video goes up, it will go up for all Plus members to view prior to it going up on the regular schedule for all other subscribers. So if you want to get interactive and help me to get more movies on here, or TV series, or whatever that I might not normally do on this channel, become a Plus member. Well, that's it for another Hammer Productions Night. If you missed last week's Hammer Productions Night, check out the link up here to get caught up on that one. Or if you missed any of the other Hammer Productions Night, be sure and check out the playlist right here to get caught up on any of them that you have missed.